or if this is like your fifth venture of trying to have a business online and this is the first time you're hiring people virtually, there is going to be that adjustment period of like, okay, how can I do this? How can I have a good life that I can live? Hey there, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, my goals at this video is to give you my top tips for leading a better work-life balance when it comes to working from home as an employer. Now, if this is first time on my channel, my name is Lai Lacaba. I've been working from home since I was 15 years old and now run my own outsourcing agency here in the Philippines. And I post videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home. So make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos. Now, when you run a remote team, when you outsource, when you start hiring people online, there will be a little bit of a adjustment period. If you, like for example, had an employer before, you were an employee, a stable job, or if this is like your fifth venture of trying to have a business online and this is the first time you're hiring people virtually, there is going to be that adjustment period of like, okay, how can I do this? How can I have a good life that I can live while having a business that I'm growing? And these are the top tips that I've learned from the mistakes that I've went through as an employer myself in the last 5 to 7 years that I've been hiring and managing people online, because for a few of those years I was an employee. So make sure to watch until the end of this video to skip all of the mistakes that I've had to make to be able to have a healthy balance between working from home and having a business from home. First one is to have regular meetings or check-ins with your people. One of the first things that usually break down when you're working and managing people online is communication. So having a regular way that you can check in with your employees, with your virtual assistants, is going to be helpful for you right on the get-go. I've mentioned this in other videos before, but even to XU within my agency, we have daily reports, we have weekly meetings with the client and the assistant, and we have monthly coaching calls. This way, even as we start expanding and growing, we still have a good pulse on where the other assistants are at and not just taking care of the newer ones that we have. It's also a way for us to check in on our clients often to make sure that they're on track with their assistants. So it kind of is a good way for us to also teach our clients of like, hey, this is how often you should talk to your assistant depending on where you guys are at. Of course, you can always just turn to just doing chat. It doesn't have to be a call. As long as you guys have a good efficient system of making sure that information is passed on the right time to the right people, then doing just chats is going to be more than enough. Second tip is to engage as much as possible, not just on times when you guys communicate, but is to lean in when you have employees have something to say, when they have something to suggest, or they see a problem that could be solved and they need your help in solving it. Lean into that process. It's one of the ways you can get to know more about your business, the things that you might not always encounter because someone else is going through them, and creating systems basically to solve that and to make it better. And it's not just engaging with your employees either, it's also engaging with your customers, with your clients, so then you don't get lost in looking at always look at bigger picture. You can also get the feel of where your business is actually at. Next is to document your systems, your files, your communication with your employees. Make sure that you have files of where things are at so they're easy to find. On Gmail, you can use labels. On Google Drive, you can use specific folders on where they can find things. You can use tools like Notion, where you can have a directory of where everything is at in your business, because then it's going to be easy for you and your team to find files even when you are off on break. Even when you're not there, they're able to keep moving even without you. Next is to experiment on what work-life balance you need for yourself. So this is going to always differ from different people. Some people like working 80 hours a week. Some people like just doing 20 hours a week of work. Some people like just 2 hours a week of work. So it really depends on what fits for you and the lifestyle that you want. Just keep in mind that as an employer, you do have this freedom of being able to build the life you want as you keep outsourcing and hiring other people to do other tasks in your business. So read books, watch YouTube videos, try to see what works for you, what is something that will last with you. And of course, later on, you're going to grow, you want to have different things, but always try to find the time to experiment, to see, okay, is this the kind of lifestyle that I want, or is this just idolized something that I kind of wanted, but it's not really a match for me. Next is to understand what your team or your virtual assistant wants. What I mean by this is know what their goals are. What does it look like for them? That way you guys can match each other on where you guys want to be in the business, in their life also. So then there's a little bit of that building loyalty with your team. So they will want to keep working with you in the long run because you've shown interest of course, making sure that working with you makes sense for them as well, not just the one way. Next is be transparent when it comes to working with your employees online. Give them direct feedback if there's anything that you do see or catch that they're doing that they're not supposed to be doing. Give them praise if they're doing something really, really well. Just make sure that you have that open communication with your people, so then if problems do arise, they can feel comfortable talking to you as well. Because then it will go into my next step of building a strong rapport with your virtual assistant. Have that more than just having them as an employee who comes in, gets a paycheck, and leaves. Build that loyalty by becoming a friend, by asking them, hey, how are you doing? Asking them about their kids if they have kids, or their puppies, or how their family is, or how was their weekend? So small touches like that help them again build that loyalty, so then you do get to a point where you are freeing yourself up because other people like doing the job that you don't like doing. Building a strong rapport with your virtual assistant or your employee also helps you get freed up when it comes to making decisions, because they know how you think, they're learning how you think. So then in the future, if something does come up and you are off building the life that you want, they can decide things as you. So then when you come back, you're like, oh, it's like I never left. Next is use tools to overcome problems or boundaries. So you can use different tools for communication, for tools management, or for files management. You can have different ways where you aren't bound to your computer, you aren't bound to just working. You can even switch to using your phone if you're on the go. You can use using your tablet or your iPad, for example. So you're able to have this switch because you are using tools that you can use just beyond having a desktop in your room or at your home. So find tools that are right for you and your business that'll make sense in the long run. Then as you start maybe traveling or going off for 7 days without computer, your business can't survive because you've set up the systems to run without you. Next is just avoid micromanaging. Micromanaging is usually when you try to track every single thing that your employee is doing, and of course it makes them feel restricted. They can't move, they can't grow beyond you and what you allow them to grow. Give your employees a little bit of freedom to be able to figure things out on their own, to be able to be given an outcome, and then for them to figure out like the how, to trust that things can happen again without you. The ultimate goal of this is to eventually have your business be something that runs without you, so you can build that life that you want. So avoiding micromanaging, giving them the freedom, gives you the freedom in the long run to be able to keep going and building a life that you want. And lastly, having an open door policy really helps as you're building that lifestyle that you want. Having your employees know that they can come to you if they have any problems, if things come up, if things rise up, they know that hey, I can just chat my boss and ask them about this one question. It really helps build again that loyalty, that rapport, that friendship, that relationship, because then they can trust that you've got their back as they have yours, as they are helping you build your business. So having that back and forth of they can also give you feedback, it's not just you giving them feedback, or they can give suggestions, they can ask questions, builds more and more of their confidence to be able to again run things without you. Now if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there and comment below what kind of lifestyle do you want as an entrepreneur as you start hiring online. I would love to know. And if you still haven't, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to run a business from home, which you guys can check out those two videos right here and the latest video right here. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Remember that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.